Because the incidence is so rare, 1 in 10,000 live births. You cannot catch hold of the risk group here. Risk group, of course, if a parent has retinoblastoma, we make sure that once the child is born, the child is brought to a doctor's examination. So that is one aspect that we are covering for genetic retinoblastoma. For non-genetic or sporadic retinoblastoma, it is only by increasing public awareness, by doing retinoblastoma awareness week, for example. We are sending one strong message that if a child has white reflex, squint or reduced vision or red eye, then go to an eye doctor immediately. If that message spreads, then that will pick up retinoblastoma quite early. Then the next group that we address are the pediatricians, because most of these children are taken to pediatricians either for fever, cough or even for immunization. If pediatrician were to even look at the eye, then they would catch retinoblastoma for sure. But half the pediatricians are not even aware that there is cure to retinoblastoma, that they don't even look at the eye. So that is the next group that we target. We make pediatricians aware that they should look at the eye, and if a parent were to complain of squint or white reflex, look at the eye in more detail and send the child to the ophthalmologist. The third group is the ophthalmologist himself. Even when parents go to an ophthalmologist complaining that the child's eye looks abnormal, ophthalmologists, many of them just give eye drops and send the patient away, and the child develops advanced retinoblastoma consequently. So that is the third group that we address. So we have methods to address each of these groups. There are a lot of efforts. In fact, it is part of the pediatrician's curriculum, but then who practices 100% of what they are taught in their medical school or post-graduation? That is the issue. Absolutely, that is there, but beyond that, if you have to do prenatal diagnosis, that can be done only in families where retinoblastoma is already present. Sporadically, you cannot do prenatal diagnosis. Even ultrasound examination of a pregnant woman cannot diagnose retinoblastoma, because sporadic retinoblastoma occurs generally after birth. When the child is still to be born, you cannot diagnose it. Only thing that you can know by doing prenatal analysis is that whether the child has mutation or not, and that is possible only in families who have retinoblastoma, not otherwise. There is something called selective implantation also. If a parent were to have retinoblastoma now and wants to have a normal child, that is also possible by doing in vitro fertilization. In our data, it is about 95% are sporadic and 4 to 5% are inherited. But in the West, the picture is a little different. To keep it simple, we'll say early, moderate and advanced. Early, it is 100% life salvage, 100% eye salvage, about 99% vision salvage. If it is moderate, still we can achieve 100% life salvage, about 90% eye salvage and 90% vision salvage. If it is advanced retinoblastoma, even for the most advanced retinoblastoma, we have 85% life salvage by using protocol-based management. Orbital retinoblastoma is considered most advanced, where the tumor has come out of the eye and is actually around the eye. Even there, we have achieved 95% survival by using a special protocol designed just for this purpose. So life salvage is never a consideration. It is eminently achievable. In fact, with our protocol-based management, we have achieved the survival exactly as in the West. The best of centers in the West have exactly the same survival, with 5% of the cost of what they charge. Cause is about half the patients, it's because of genetic reasons. If there is a patient in the family with retinoblastoma, his or her children may develop retinoblastoma, that is genetic. And most of the genetic related retinoblastomas occur in both the eyes or more than one tumor in one eye. Others are sporadic. There is no reason why they occur, but that is the first time in the family that it would have occurred. So either genetic or sporadic, these are the major considerations. There is an infective theory which is not proven.